You get nerved
all,
up. Hello,
I get
hello,
all,
hello, hello, Gia.
hello, hello. Just saying how I get all nerved up before these performances,
Yeah.
and
Yeah, well, we're professionals and we just want to deliver the best quality podcast we can.
the best product we can. Yep.
Yeah, and before we start, I just want to apologize for being a day late. It's my fault this time.
Yep.
Yeah. that's, that's all I'm going to say, I guess.
No, I mean, it's funny that we're like, oh, I can't believe, God. So, well, what got in the way is like your actual adult job, and
Yeah.
that's what we're upset about. The adulting is interfering with our
Oh,
fantasy world of
it really is.
General Hospital
We need this fantasy world more than ever,
more than
for crying out
ever.
loud. Yeah, adulting is for the birds.
It's
For the
so hard.
birds, Gia.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just gets
And I
worse.
just want to put out there that I've enjoyed the interaction we've been having on Facebook with a couple of our listeners. So very fun.
I know. And it only took us like what, 3 years to figure out that we could
We
communicate
could
with
put it
people.
on. Yeah, and
I
I
mean,
guess we can
yeesh.
put other content on there too. We can just be
Yeah,
putting stuff
yeah,
on
we
there if we
could.
want.
We could. Yeah, we just got to get our shit together a little bit
Our,
more. But
our
yeah,
act
it
together.
has
Yeah.
been fun. So anybody, oh, and I guess also that's my fault too. And it was oh, just
It's
gonna
all your fault. Just admit
I'm
it.
I'm gonna turn in my letter of resignation, Gia, and it can be all yours
Okay.
now. But I think when I titled the page, I inadvertently made it almost impossible to find. So
Oh, well, that's
it's
not your fault. I was in total agreement. We thought we were being so clever.
yeah, and when have we ever really been clever?
Never when we've thought we were clever. Maybe at other times.
Accidentally. But it's
Yeah,
is it
we
General
were.
Hospital colon a table at the Tano, something like that?
Yeah, and Tano has the dash in
Yeah,
it.
it's TAN-O.
Dash O. And
So yeah.
yeah, I don't. It is difficult though. Somebody mentioned like that they were kind of like in a wrestling match with AI
Yeah.
trying to find it, and I had the same problem. I'm like, why is this so hard? Um, but yeah, and the Tano thing. No, that was probably my idea. We were under the
No,
spell of the Tano at that point.
it was totally my idea.
Was it? But we
Yeah.
just thought, how cool! We'll have this little obscure reference
Yeah.
to a
Yeah.
plot on General Hospital, and knowing full well that neither one of us has a memory um, at all, and
At
we won't
all.
remember the Tano. Later, people will be like, why is it called a table at the Tano?" We'll
Yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
no earthly idea. That
Yeah.
was
Yeah.
ages
And of
ago.
course it
But
burned to the ground as soon as we named our podcast. So
right, as soon as we got it up and running, yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
But I still
So
long to go to that bar and just hang out at that empty Tano.
I
And
know. I don't think it would be a bad idea to revive the Tano, it could be like a fun little sort of like place where different things, like you said, Brigadoon, it could be like this sort of,
like there's sort of an alternate universe that,
yeah, where once
yeah,
in a while some of the Port Charles people just sort of happen upon it, and then
just,
their lives
yeah,
take a turn, for the better, perhaps.
right, like a little bit of a dream world, yeah, where and
Yeah.
there are hoedowns and Mike and Nina are dancing and wearing denim shirts and
Yeah.
cowboy hats, and
Yeah.
it's a sweet
Right.
world, like a little bit like a Mayberry.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Mm-hmm.
I find a lot of people I know who are a couple years older than me, so I guess that means you. Um, yeah, I wasn't thinking of you,
Yes.
but I find that a lot of, and actually it's more men now that I think about that
Well,
have this
thank
really
you.
nostalgic attachment to the Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah. It was a good show, and it was sort of unique, wasn't it? Because it
I
was like
guess.
early sitcom.
Yeah, I think they're attached to the kind of sweetness of it and
Yeah. Yeah.
the world made sense then and all that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
But
And it was an interesting dynamic because you had the father and son, right? No mom.
right, right. You had the sexy girlfriend. I can't think of her name. She was like the
Mm-hmm.
sexy librarian girlfriend.
Thank you again.
I'm getting way off the beaten track, but I saw like a headline, not a headline, some Click something or other about how Aunt B and Andy Griffith, like in real life, they like hated each other and never like she wouldn't go
Excellent.
to
Gee.
any of the reunion gatherings or anything, you know.
She
And I
just
thought,
was an asshole.
yeah, wouldn't that be funny? Like sweet old Aunt B, like you know,
Yeah.
it's probably not true, but I clicked on
Yeah.
it and read about it. But
Now your feed is going to get flooded with weird Aunt B
I know,
shit,
I know. I
like
click
her
on so much
favorite
stuff.
coleslaw recipe and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
And
Yeah.
she's probably like in real life, she was probably totally modern and, you know, never cooked anything, or I don't know.
Maybe not. Yeah. Huh.
Who knows? But anyway, okay, we're getting off track. Should we talk
Yeah.
about the last couple episodes? And what is
Let's.
today? So we
We had,
talked on Tuesday, right? So we have Wednesday, Thursday, and today. Is that
I guess,
correct?
I have no idea. I just watched
Hmm.
Wednesday, Thursday, and today, so those are fresher
You're
and
the freshest then. You're freshy fresh.
freshy fresh. So we started with Finn hitting the bottle and Elizabeth sort of calling him out on it in a gentle way, and then
Yeah,
getting kicked in the
initially,
teeth.
yeah, yeah. And he was
So,
drinking something like, what was it, like flat tire bourbon or something.
yeah,
And
I want
oddly enough,
to name the bourbon.
yeah. Well, it looked weird. And he never, like, the level in the bottle never changed.
Yeah, yeah.
I was like,
Well, he
is
poured,
he really that drunk? I was like, you
right.
know.
I know. Does it? Yeah. Does it matter if he's drunk or if he's had a drink?
Well, of course it matters just that he had a drink. I get that. My point is,
Oh, is it going to be like this all night?
yes, my point is the props people never emptied anything out of the bottle, so it didn't look like he had any of it.
It's
To
probably
me,
just some high school kid who made the label for the bottle on his computer in one of his classes. And he,
you have such a weird fantasy about who works at this.
I'm just thinking they try to save money like anywhere they can. So that's why
Yeah,
this whole show is held together with like spit and tape.
yeah, and a lot of like students, like people doing
Yeah.
internships or something.
Yeah.
Tire
Internship.
Track. No, it was called Tire Track.
Yeah.
Tire Track bourbon.
Yeah.
And it was a gift from Lois's mother and father.
Oh, okay. Okay. Uh-huh.
Yeah, who were the problem the whole time because they got him to do the toast too.
That's true. It's like they wanted him to get drunk.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Anyway, my takeaway from that whole thing, my personal feeling about it was that I really hope this breaks up Finn and Elizabeth finally for good.
Yeah, I guess that's not a surprise. That's your takeaway. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I gotta say, yeah, I felt for Elizabeth. She, obviously didn't deserve that, and she was sort of
No.
blindsided.
Yes.
But I was trying to think of like, is this in character for Finn? Not really. But then I thought, sometimes when you've lost someone who's very important, plus when you have all this unresolved baggage, as much as Gregory tried to smooth it out, for him, sometimes you just want to like push other people away so you don't have to worry about feeling that pain again. So maybe
That's true, and that's very something of you to be able to like unravel where he was coming from. Something good. I meant something good of you, not bad. I just don't have the.
Only the bad words are coming to mind. I want to say you're a bitch.
I was gonna say like thoughtful, but that's not the right word. But anyway, I still feel like the fact that it was Elizabeth that he lashed out at like that instead of instantly just falling into her arms. They're just not a good couple. They're not good together.
Right. Yeah.
If that's his first impulse when he sees her.
Yeah. Yeah.
then they don't
Right.
work. I don't. I just found myself. I understood that he was
Hmm.
in deep, 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 deep pain,
Yeah.
um, and therefore made some, poor choices. But
Hmm.
I found myself just being like, what a freaking baby. Like, oh, now everybody else is going to have to babysit Finn.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Like
know. Yeah.
Chase can't deal with his own pain because he's got to worry about Finn. All the other
Right.
people around him are going to have to like carry
Yeah.
Finn for a while, and they
Yeah.
won't get to deal with their own emotions. And I just felt like,
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
it felt selfish to me. And I get it. Like that's the
Yeah.
whole thing when you're addiction. But
Right. Yeah.
I wondered if it would have been a stronger plot had they
Yeah.
stuck with he was not an alcoholic, he was a pill addict. And could they have, at first I thought, well, that would have been hard to finagle. But then I thought, well, what if Gregory had some prescription sitting
Ooh.
there,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
and they could have done it like that
Uh-huh.
and maybe not have everybody find out right away because they wouldn't have noticed
Right.
pill
Yeah.
being gone,
Yeah. Uh-huh. Yeah.
but have it
That's
be a story.
interesting.
I
Yeah.
just thought that
Yeah.
would have been a
Uh-huh.
little more nuanced
Yes.
storyline.
Yes. Nuanced. And we're fans of the nuance.
I like the nuance, yeah.
Yeah, I do
Sometimes I like to
too.
be hit over the head, but mostly I think nuance.
Yeah.
I think they do us a disservice when they think we can't handle nuanced storylines.
Yeah. Although often we are just begging to be hit over the head.
Yeah, but no, sometimes we're wicked smart.
Okay. Yeah, but going back to, your thought process there with Finn and, his emotions and stuff, I'm right there with you. And sort of I think bottom line I was like if people aren't going to treat each other well, then just like go your separate ways, and that's kind of how I felt for Elizabeth. You deserve better than this, even though I know Finn is struggling and lots of
Yeah, you
lots
can
of
explain his
yeah,
motivations, but
yeah, yeah.
that doesn't mean it's okay.
No, and just Elizabeth's always had to carry so much, on
I
her
know.
own. She just
And
shouldn't have to carry
yeah.
this too. I don't, and I loved her line where she said he needed to hold on to something and he grabbed the wrong thing, something when she
Yeah,
was,
yeah, there was some nice writing
yeah, yeah,
here and there. Yeah.
here and there,
I
yeah,
just I just felt like and of course perfectly logical and reasonable to think I need to get this little girl out of here. This guy is not
mm-hmm, yeah,
gonna like be a safe person for her to
mm-hmm,
be around, and
mm-hmm.
he's gonna realize that later. He's gonna kick himself all over town for
Oh yeah, yeah, which is maybe going to make him spiral. Who knows.
yeah, yeah.
In
Um,
ways like Alexis, I feel like they're both kind of like self-absorbed, like,
I
not
don't know if that. I
always,
don't know if
but
that's fair to Alexis. I think he's way more of a baby than Alexis. But
right now, but lots of times, like when something's going on with her daughters or something, somehow she makes it about herself, I think. But
yeah, I
anyway,
guess so. But I get it. Like I get the addiction thing. I mean, that's what people around him like that. It's a selfish thing, and
yeah,
that's part of why they drive away all the people that love them.
yeah,
They just can't take
yeah,
it anymore.
yeah,
But I felt for Elizabeth, and then I felt for
hmm,
Chase and
yeah,
Brooklyn. It was like,
yeah, I
okay,
felt,
now
yeah,
in
yeah.
addition to having lost his father, he's going to have
Hmm.
to mop up the mess that is Finn.
Yeah,
And
I know. I felt very bad for Chase too because he hadn't really even had a minute to
yeah, to
sort of,
process.
yeah, and suddenly, yeah, he's having to
Yeah,
manage Finn.
manage the Finn. Yes,
Yeah.
and I mean, I don't know. I guess I get it. Like I'm so hypocritical because when both my parents died, I dove into a swimming pool sized amount of alcohol. So
Yeah.
but so I totally get, the reaching out for
impulse.
the wrong
Yeah.
thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, but also like at least he didn't plow through like 58 thin Reese's Pieces, whatever they were that I ate that
Oh,
night.
so now you've lost me.
What?
What is wrong with that?
Well, I literally, my stomach hurt. I mean, I was literally like in
Yeah.
pain from,
Yeah.
and I was just plowing through. I was just like feeding my sorrow,
Yeah. Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
only thing I could find that was so serious contraband in his apartment was a bag of Reese's Thins. I don't even really like Reese's. I don't think I'll eat another one.
Really? Wow. Okay.
Not really. I mean, they're good. The
Yeah.
Thins I like better than the other ones because it's got less of the peanut butter.
Peanut butter. What's your candy of choice then?
Well, I'm not really a candy person. That's,
I know you're a salty snack kind of a girl.
But any sort of a dark chocolate would be
Yeah.
the thing I'd go for.
Okay.
I don't even know candy well enough to like give you names of stuff that I like. Oh my God.
Yeah. Interesting.
What would you suggest?
Yeah.
What should I start on?
I remember you did enjoy the caramels that had the salt on them.
Oh yes, those were excellent. That Maine-made treat.
Yeah. The Bixby's.
And you told me you knocked the salt off. I was like, that's the point of the whole thing.
No.
The salt is what enhances the flavor.
I know that old salted caramel is crazy. It's like, oh, come on. But
we couldn't be more different, really.
I know, in some ways we're so different.
Anyway, Finn, he would have been better off if he'd just eaten a bag of Reese's, wouldn't he?
I think that's the bottom line. I just one more thing on that topic. How did you feel about Elizabeth spilling the beans to Portia?
I wish she'd chosen somebody else. Because well, and they overdid this. They made Portia make that face for like an hour.
I know. Like
before she said something. Like we get it. We get it. She might be pondering, doing something about.
Yeah. It would have made more sense if she'd told Terry, because Terry's her old friend. But of course, they seem to only want to use Terry like once every 6 months. So
yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I was it was a predictable little scene, I thought.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And they sort of they go in and out of making Portia a likable character.
I know. It's just like for fleeting moments where she's like, a decent, person.
Stand up kind of.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't like, once again, I felt like Elizabeth's hurting now too, and so she desered a little better shoulder to cry on.
Yeah. That would have been.
She needed Cody.
Oh yeah. Okay, all right. Let's go to Cody, and you want to talk about Cody and Tracy?
Yeah, we're kind of only talking about today. Is that all right?
Yeah, we'll make our way back, I think.
Way backwards.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I thought that was a sweet little scene. I mean, Tracy's just such a pro that she elevates any scene, I think.
Yeah. And once again, I feel like this was an effect somebody else had on Cody. It might have been Felicia. But knowing that Tracy values Cody in this way, it makes me like him more,
Yep.
But yeah, I was at first I thought, oh, this would be really interesting if she had been with Chase, and they had some sort of heart to heart. But I kind of liked it that it was Cody, because Chase would have been so overwrought, and it might have been just too much for him, and Tracy wouldn't have known really, But I was a little surprised that she wasn't completely destroyed in that moment, but I think it's going to catch up with her.
Yeah, but that's sort of in keeping with Tracy to not display emotion.
Yeah, I think like when she's on her own or something, maybe,
we might see more. Yeah.
Yeah.
I loved that she said something about, like, she's the kind of person that she's hiding out. She loves her family, but she doesn't want to see him yet while she's upset.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
so identify with that. She's like my
Yeah.
spirit character or something.
Yeah. 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 Because they're sort of going to
Um,
want a piece of her, or want her to
yeah.
behave a certain way or something. And it's like,
Well, or she just
yeah.
doesn't want to be seen
Yeah.
unraveling in front of
Yeah.
people. And
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
there are people like Chase, who's like a golden retriever,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and he's lovely and wonderful, and he puts his emotions out there all the time,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
and he's just open with them. And then there's like
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, who's prickly and
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think probably feels just as deeply as a Chase,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
she holds it all together.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's not gonna put that emotion out there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It would be painful for her to be seen weeping,
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Right.
think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I thought it was a sweet little scene. I thought Cody's t-shirt was weirdly fitted. What they're doing with that. I've seen ads for like men's t-shirts that are like supposed to transform their look, and I'm thinking maybe they put in an order for one of those where it, shows off their guns and like they're tight at the top, but
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Uh-huh.
don't know. And I'm thinking maybe they were trying those out.
Maybe. Yeah, that seems like a solid explanation for that.
Did you notice his t-shirt fit?
I'm sorry to admit, but I thought the dialogue was more interesting than his t-shirt. How silly of me.
What did you notice Tracy's outfit? She's still in like full regalia every
Yeah,
time
yeah,
she rides.
yeah,
Very funny.
yeah, yeah.
Very
That is
funny.
funny. Hmm.
And full makeup too.
Yeah, yeah. That's right. She did have some eyeliner on. What did you think about her scene with Stella?
I loved that too. Maybe I was just in a good
Yeah.
mood today. I had really good coffee, and
Okay. Yeah.
yeah, I had mixed some espresso in with my coffee, and it
Ah,
had
bonjour.
I was feeling the espresso love.
Yeah.
But no, I thought that was wonderful. I loved seeing two women of a certain age,
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
kind of like just like vibing on each other, and as the
Mm-hmm.
kids say, and like they were getting it. They were like
Yeah.
getting it.
Yeah. Like they didn't need to use like a lot of words to understand what each other was feeling. It seemed like,
Yeah, yeah, but they just seemed to, um, and I liked what, like when Tracy was talking about. I don't know. I didn't think it was necessary for her to offer to pay for things,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah.
But I liked her explanation of like, this is what I can do.
Yeah.
I
Mm-hmm.
can't cook and I can't,
Mm-hmm.
um,
Yeah.
just and just seemed like Stella appreciated that
Mm-hmm.
gesture. And I don't know, Stella like also goes in and out of bothering the crap out of me, but when she's in her
Mm-hmm.
role as the hospital worker,
Yeah.
I feel like that really suits her.
Yeah. Yeah. She's good in that role, and they have a really nice dynamic. So
Yeah,
and I like that Tracy sort of admitted that Gregory had changed her, because we all know she's changed, you know.
yeah,
And I guess that is enough of a reason that one person can maybe sort of
yeah.
shake
Do you think
you.
there's any hope for us? Like we might meet that person at some point and
No,
start having
no.
warm,
Mm-mm.
positive feelings?
I don't think so, Gia. No. I've been thinking so many bad thoughts lately.
I have to say, I think I was triggered today. I don't know if I fully understand what triggering is.
Okay,
And
go ahead.
I know it's not like fluffing. Um,
That's correct.
so, as people know, because I've said before, but that my very old father passed away recently, and we've had
Mm-hmm.
some ups and downs in the past few years, my brothers and
Mm-hmm.
I, in our relationship with him, just in that switching of roles where we're kind
Yeah.
of taking care of him, and
Yeah.
he didn't always make it easy, and we didn't always make it easy, and we all just fumbled. We're a very loving family, but we fumbled a lot with that, and there were a lot of
Yeah.
emotions around it. So anyway, what I'm getting to, being triggered today,
Mm-hmm.
I go out and it's, I don't know, 11:30. It's late, and I'm headed for my walk. It's like, it feels like the surface of the sun outside. It's so hot.
Yeah.
And I'm coming out, and I see one of my neighbors who's in a camper, and he is in his 80s. I'm gonna say mid 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway, he's getting a new camper, and he had his old camper hauled away, and they'd left all the mess, all the cement blocks, all the stuff he had out there. And I see him out there, and he's trying to like put a hose into a garbage bag, and I'm like, what are you doing? So instead of going for my walk, I go over and they're like, hey, what are you doing? What are you up to? And and no sun hat. He's in long sleeves, and
Jeez.
And anyway, I didn't sleep at all. I have to clean this up, and I'm like, there's no, piles of cement blocks. Not, he's in his 80s. He can't move any of this stuff. I'm like, well,
yeah.
So anyway, I'm just like, my head is like, go for your walk, don't get involved. And I'm like, I can go for my walk and come back and find him where he's fallen and broken a hip or had a heat stroke and he's dead or whatever. So instead I go get the husband, and we get a couple wheelbarrows, and we clear the area and store all his stuff. And the husband's a little cranky with me for getting involved. I'm like, he was gonna die. And so then I'm trying to talk to him and say, do you have a plan for when they put the camper in and you have to put all this stuff back? And no, and it's like he's not even understanding, and he's trying to offer to go to the dumpster with me, which is a long walk, and he's telling me how much pain he was in last night because he worked too hard. I'm like, it's just the lack of reality when you get older, when you really can't do stuff anymore, but you think you're being independent and not bothering people, and instead you're going to kill yourself.
Okay. Yeah.
It triggered me.
That sounds a little bit more like fluffing to me.
I don't know. I was like angry in my head all day. He's the sweetest guy. I wasn't like angry at him. I was just angry at how this happens, and he's got family here. I'm like, is your daughter know you're, he's got not family in this neighborhood, but family nearby. And I was like, why aren't they managing this? Why aren't they managing their father? He probably told them he didn't need any help or whatever. I'm sure, because that's what my dad would have done.
Yeah. Okay. Anyway, sounds like you've been a little bit triggered. Sure.
Is that being triggered? Did I get triggered?
I guess so, but I think it's good if you see a chance where you can help somebody. I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't think it. No, it was good. I mean, it was a good deed, but I just thought, what if I hadn't happened by?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Maybe he would have realized he just couldn't do it, and he would have gone wherever he's staying right now.
Maybe, but
or maybe he would have had a heat stroke, or maybe he would have. I mean, he doesn't even walk that well. Like, how did he think he was going to move like 20 cement blocks, cinder blocks?
Maybe he knew he saw you coming out, and so he rushed out and started to act like he was going to do something stupid. You got played, Gia.
It could be.
He's like, count to 10 and she'll go get the husband.
Go get the husband and the wheelbarrows. She'll be all over this.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, it was my lesson of the day, because I was like, I think I've been triggered, because I was like angry in my head about it and thinking of my dad like all freaking day. And, and now I'm worried about, well, how is he going to get things set up? And, the husband would kill me if I went and said, let me know when you're moving.
Oh, dear. Yeah.
Anyway, I was thinking of that because I'm also being triggered by all these death
Yeah.
scenes with Gregory, and I'm kind of
Yeah.
angry at General Hospital at the timing of this storyline. I
Yeah.
just wish they'd called me. That's all.
I get it. Yeah. Yeah. They should have known. Yeah.
Because it just replaying all this stuff of, like when somebody passes away and you have to tell different people, and
Yep.
even just the telling itself is very difficult.
Oh, that's a big part of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And so I feel like the telling was happening all over Port Charles today, and
Yeah, it was. It was.
it was kind of rough. But, okay, I'll let you hold the floor now. I've told my boring story, and
No, that's okay. I didn't know if we were going to talk about fluffing anymore, but
no, we should probably move away from that. You probably lost some listeners when we got into
probably. Yeah, our numbers are flattening out. Ironically. All right, let's see. I don't want to talk about this. I just want to mention it and then move on. And that's the courtroom scene.
Oh, yeah. That guy
Yeah.
with the funny name, what is it? Fergburn?
That sounds like some sort of a naughty sort of S&M kind of a thing.
What is his name? Is that not right? It was something funny. It's Byrne. The last name is Byrne, right? Is it Neil Byrne?
I'm just going to let you struggle with this for a while.
Do you know his name? I can't remember. I thought that was
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
What is it? What is it? Tell me.
No. No, it's Fergus Byrne, but I like Ferg Byrne more.
Well, then I'm not wrong.
No, you're not, but I think you're the only one who calls him Ferg.
Like Fergie.
Yeah, sure.
Well,
Ferg
anyway,
Byrne.
It's like, oh great, we have
just
a new
put some
annoying
salve on your Ferg Byrne. Don't touch it.
All right, you said you just wanted to move on, and now you're like riffing on it.
Well, I didn't know we were going to go in this direction.
Anyway, it's like, oh great, we found another really annoying blowhard to add to the cast.
No, you get rid of a blowhard, and then you got a new one. Yeah. Not that Gregory wasn't a blowhard in the end.
He came on as a blowhard.
Yeah, he did. So maybe they'll soften Ferg too.
Does this Ferg guy, was he on another soap with Alexis before? Is that the Wyatt?
That's what I gather. Yeah. I know it means nothing to me.
Yeah,
I can't. And maybe he was on Hospital. I don't know, but I don't remember him.
Well, he's pretty annoying, and I tell you, the whole storyline to me was such a stretch because I'm like, I can't even remember what the hell we're talking about here.
Yeah,
they were like Ava. It was Ava. Like, what are we? I don't even know what we're talking about.
I know, and pulling
this is
Ava
sort of the story
into
of my
it.
life, really.
Yeah. Who are these people? Yeah, it just all seemed a little weird that Ava might have orchestrated this, but maybe it's part of her grand scheme. I don't know, to take over Port Charles. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's another annoying thing. Like, she just keeps going with her manipulations of Sonny, and we have no better inkling of what her goal is.
It doesn't seem like there could be anything like good about it, right? Like it's more and more sinister. Yeah,
we've exhausted any possibility of that being a
good
move. But anyway, we can move on from Ferg. Also, I was like, oh, they're going to take 30 days to decide. So why are we dragging that out? 30 days?
Yeah. I guess maybe they'll come to a hasty decision or something. But yeah, that felt like that went on forever. That back and forth.
Yeah, I mean, there was some fun stuff. I mean, Diane and Alexis were kind of funny here and there.
A little bit.
With their delivery, but he was just unbearable.
Yeah.
And his eyebrows were like bothering me.
Sure. Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. All right.
Anyway,
So
I also initially I thought he might be wearing a wig, and then I decided no, that's real. I think it's real.
okay.
Doesn't matter,
this,
but
this is all going on in that
he just
little
he
cloud
just
floating
seemed
through your head.
he seemed like he was in doing some sort of high school theater or something,
Yeah. Yeah. Right. I
and that they
agree.
might have put stuff in his hair to make it gray, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. He in his mind he had convinced himself this was as important as like To Kill a Mockingbird,
I was
you
just
know.
thinking he had the whole
Yeah.
Atticus Finch thing
Yeah.
happening. Yeah, yeah,
That's what he was channeling, that sort of
yes, right,
depth and integrity and yeah.
right,
Sure.
right. Look at us with the
Hmm.
literary reference, so that's pretty good.
That's one,
Although maybe
we
we
made.
just we might have just seen the movie.
Yeah, I am picturing Gregory Peck in my head,
Yeah,
but
it was a good movie, but they really the emphasis of the movie was different than the book, which I guess any
mm-hmm.
movie can't really.
Yeah, yeah. But he's a
Like it felt
handsome man, Gregory Peck.
he was, and so maybe that was a
Mm-hmm.
good move to focus on him. But yeah, it was more about the trial and
Mm-hmm.
Atticus, and
Mm-hmm.
you didn't get the whole picture of that town,
Yeah,
which was a
right.
little bit of a Mayberry. Now we go back to
Yeah,
it, but a
true.
Mayberry
True,
that
Gia.
revealed its dark underbelly
Yes. Mm-hmm.
of racism.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Anyhow, so we're just pondering our English major roots there for a minute. I had a
Yeah, and
moment. I
where
was
it's broad. Mm-hmm.
yeah, my
Nowhere.
sister-in-law recently, she was telling me about somebody that she'd read about, and a wonderful blues man, and I was like, oh, what does he play? Blah blah. Blah. She said, no, he's an author and he's a scholar and he's written all these scholarly blah blah blah. But and I was thinking,
Mm-hmm.
oh, she thinks I'm still like sort of literary.
Did you tell her about the podcast? Because that'll shut that right down.
She so would not get, So I just thought, oh, that's right, because I was an English major, and I looked, like there was promise for a while if you looked at my
Sure.
CV,
Right. Uh-huh.
back in the day. But now
Yes.
I'm just letting my freak flag fly,
Fly.
and
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
but it was just I had to kind of shake myself. I was like, oh right, she thinks I'm this
Mm-hmm.
other person,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
I've shed that
Mm-hmm.
costume.
Uh-huh.
Because it never really fit me anyway. But
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
anyhow, yeah, those scenes were okay, I guess.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
don't know. The courtroom stuff on General Hospital is never that interesting, I don't think. But and
Yeah.
that especially didn't seem that interesting because it was all a lot of partly because she had perjured herself,
Yeah.
and but
Yeah.
whatever. Um,
That's just when you
I
say that, it feels like you need to hand somebody a wipe. Oh, you
yeah,
perjured.
would be funny if they did that. Every time he said you perjured yourself, if Diane had handed her a wipe.
Have a wipe and pull a curtain around them. Please clean yourself.
Could we get a mop over here? Oh God. That reminds
Yeah.
me a little bit of the scene with Carly and Anna. You remember that
Oh
one?
yeah, that had some funny.
Yeah,
What to say about
Carly was
something like
kind
they
of
didn't
funny.
have their kind of relationship where you'd
Where he's
stab yourself.
stabbing to go see them. Yeah. And then also before that, when Anna was explaining why he might have stabbed himself, Carly's like, when you put it that way, I don't know why more prisoners aren't stabbing
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah, they had a little bit of snap, a little
Yeah.
faux snap
Yeah.
to their
Uh-huh.
dialogue. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
are we
mhm.
are we assuming this is all the writer that just got fired? These things that we're
um,
liking?
probably.
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Really been
But
wearing some voluminous dresses lately. There's so
yeah,
much material. I feel like we could
sometimes,
make
yeah.
another dress sometimes out of
Probably one
this.
for Joss, yeah. A mother
Yeah,
daughter
yeah,
combo, yeah.
right.
Yeah. Yeah, we did have, and now we're going back to the days before
Okay, we're going
today a little bit.
backwards.
Yeah,
Going
because
back
we
in
got all
time.
the sunny aftermath. And I think he's doing quite a good job of being sort of a like a wretched kind of a man, you know?
Yes, yeah, wretched. Like I'm having an element of pity for him because he's being
Yeah.
manipulated by
Oh,
uh, Ava
yeah.
and by his
And the,
own mind.
right, right. Yeah. Yeah. Which
And
is
it's
terrible.
pitiful. It's pitiful.
Yeah. It would be awesome if like somehow Sasha could like work her way into this storyline more because that happened to
Oh,
her, right? You know, the
well,
being
right, right. Yeah,
the victim of the med manipulation and stuff.
right, right. I've forgotten about that. Yeah, yeah.
Um,
Maybe she could make him see a little light. I
yeah,
I thought he and Sonny, I mean Sonny and Carly, kind of like there was some promise in their exchange,
yeah,
but then it just got twisted and didn't do any good. And
yeah, yeah.
somebody's got to break through here.
I
Um,
know, and I don't know. I mean, I liked his scene with Dante a lot too. I thought Dante was really
oh
good.
yeah, that was very good. Dante was very
Yeah,
good. Yeah,
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 yeah. Because it seemed like the evolution of his opinion of Sonny, like it happened kind of at a good pace, you know, in a way. Like
right.
he doesn't just turn on him. Like he
Yeah,
struggled a bit, you know, and
right. In contrast to Anna and Laura,
yeah, yeah, uh
who
huh,
like turned on a freaking dime. And
yeah, mm-hmm,
yeah, he
yeah,
struggled with it, like you said. Yeah,
mm-hmm,
he did, for quite some time.
yeah.
And then he just kind of reached a breaking point there. Um,
Yeah, yeah, because it did seem like Sonny expected him to just, you know, put aside his badge and, you know, do whatever Sonny needed, you know.
yeah, yeah. And I like when Dante said he would go to Christina and he would comfort Christina, and
Mhm.
he would take care
Mhm.
of Christina, but he was
Mhm.
not gonna
Yeah.
do Sonny's bidding.
Yeah. Yeah.
It was a sad scene, of course, because Dante's kind of been his
Yeah.
anchor
Right. Yeah.
for so
Definitely.
long.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And now Dante like he does kind of feel like a fool, you know, for he said
Yeah,
that, right? You know, because he had been able to sort of like divide, you know, his energy and his loyalty, you know, without that much difficulty before, I guess, or some, but you know, now it's
well,
just impossible.
when you think about it, like Michael and Joss, I guess, are the ones who
Mhm.
really have seen more of the full range of Sonny, um,
Yeah, yeah,
because they were really the ones who grew up in a house with him.
right. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, Dante brought up, was an adult by the time he
Yeah.
met his
Mm-hmm.
father, and Christina grew up with Alexis, and
Mm-hmm.
so
Mm-hmm.
you'd think like, well, Michael probably has a better grasp on all of Sonny.
Yeah, yeah. And I liked when he was talking to Joss and about how he saw him at the wedding and, you know, the charming side of him and all of that, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
And that Joss admitted that she used to think, you know, that he was this really compassionate, you know, guy. Because she hasn't said anything about that sort of history
Right,
before, you
right.
know.
Yeah, because they were, I don't know if you'd say they were close, but he was a good stepfather to her
Yeah,
all those
yeah.
years.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. What
So
did you think of uh Anna and Dex's scene when Dex goes in to get advice from her? How did you like her advice?
isn't this the second time she's told him it's not the right time to
Yeah, I think
bust Sonny?
so.
It's
That was
like,
ridiculous. Like she was just
yeah,
toying with him. Like, why don't you just
yeah,
say, I don't think you should bring charges right now.
Yeah, because she also, like, she said, okay, so what would happen? He'd get arrested. He'd go away for how long? Maybe that, and it was like, it's not worth it. It's like,
but you have it's fully within your rights.
Right, yeah.
Give it a break, man.
I know. So that was
funny.
Poor Poor little Dex. He's cunning. Yeah.
And since I picked on props and makeup earlier,
yeah,
I don't think they're the same people, but I think that they did a fabulous job making Dex look truly beat up.
Yeah, and I hope they keep the wound looking, purple and stuff for a little while, because like it seems like he's looked ill or wounded longer than Curtis. Like, right,
yeah.
Not really, but sometimes it seems like their wounds heal so quickly.
Right. Magic.
But yeah, this is kind of sort of part of the plot, because every time somebody sees him, it's clear, that Sonny has gone off the
violence,
deep end,
that Sonny's capable of. Blinky, as one of our listeners said, his nickname is Blinky now.
Poor Dex.
Although it's really like anti-Blinky, he can't blink.
Right. Yeah, I can't. They must have done something, right, to pin that eyelid down, because I was trying to pretend I was Dex and trying to act with one eye shut.
Actually use pins. I imagine they have some kind of adhesive.
What about a staple?
Maybe in early soaps they used pins, but I think now they probably have something hypoallergenic, to keep that. Oh yeah, you couldn't keep that eye flat down like he's got it. They've got to have it glued down or something.
Somehow, yeah, that's fun.
But it even looks already like kind of a shiner, like it's swollen or something.
Yeah. Was your takeaway from that scene the same, that it was funny because of Anna?
Yes, I was like, oh my God, just ridiculous. Yeah, it was kind of ridiculous.
Yeah.
Yeah, poor Dex. I just felt bad for Dex, because all over town people are like, well, you can go ahead and bring charges, but...
Right. I know. If only Sonny knew,
And how really, like, I don't know. Yes, it would be hard for Christina to testify, but...
Sure.
Like, really? That hard? They're all like, she's not made of glass. I don't know.
Right. Yeah. Also, I don't know.
This is going to reflect badly on me as sort of a non-maternal person or uncaring person or something like that. But
Same.
I'm very tired of watching her keep her hand on her pregnant belly.
I know.
Yeah, we get it. You're pregnant.
I know.
Tired of it. You're very maternal. You got props from a listener for buying all those prom dresses, and I'm still waiting. Your daughter looked very cute, FYI. Was it like a little prairie dress? So just to
kind of.
I complained that I didn't get pictures of her daughter in her prom dress, so she sends some. Very cute, but of course she's bundled in a sweater, so I can't see the dress.
I know, I think she was feeling a little modest, because in all the pictures that her
was
boyfriend...
it like a low cut? Did you buy something inappropriate?
No. No, because actually the dress she was going to wear was, I think, just as, the cut was similar. It was it was sleeveless. But yeah, I think she just is. She didn't want to. Maybe
kind of modest, too bare.
Yeah, because there were pictures taken at the prom too, and all of them she had her sweater on.
She had her sweater on. Yeah. All the other girls are out there like, look at my boobs.
Oh man, yeah, some of these dresses, yeah. She looks like an Amish girl, but
well, it looked cute. I like the prairie skirt kind of vibe.
Yeah.
You did a good job. I'm trying to give you.
Oh, thanks, Gia. Thanks. Yeah.
Anyway. Where were we? Were we talking about an outfit? Is that why I got off there? No.
We were talking about pregnant girls,
Oh, right,
women.
right. Yeah. I'm just tired of the like hand on the belly thing. It's like, all
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and then we had the scene with, I guess that was today, going back to today with Molly and TJ, where
Yeah,
he
yeah.
sort of, I don't know, he seemed to own up to being a bit of a douche, but I
Yeah,
don't think he
he sort of
realizes the
course
extent.
corrected. Yeah.
Yeah.
A tad. He course corrected a tad, but don't you think he's gonna lose his shit when he hears?
Oh, I was hoping that Dex would walk by.
Yeah.
You know? But then I'm thinking, like, what if, okay, let's say Alexis gets her license back and somehow winds up like working as Sonny's lawyer for some reason and has to go against Molly.
You're right. Yeah. Is that what they were doing there? Because I was
I
like,
don't know.
that's
I don't
I
know.
thought it was kind of a mean, weird question.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
let me pit you against your mother. I thought that
I
was a little
know.
weird, a little
Yeah,
sadistic or something.
yeah.
Maybe I'm just
Mhm.
hating on TJ, but I guess I'm kind of
Well,
hating on TJ. I don't know.
yeah, because
Um,
he's, he hasn't been that likable,
yeah.
So we'll
Um,
see.
and we know we're also coming up against, like, it could be that they were laying the groundwork for um, Molly having to try and get the baby from Christina,
Oh, yeah, that's also a possibility. Sure.
and somehow
Uh
Alexis
huh.
could be wrapped up in that,
Yeah. Oh, she's not going to want to get in the middle of that one. Hmm.
No, but it kind of crossed my mind when
Yeah.
that came up.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
I still think
Interesting.
also, speaking of like where they've planted little foreshadowing things, like
Uh
way
huh.
back when they had the pregnant surrogate
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
miscarried, and
Right.
there was weirdness around that. Do you remember
There
that?
was. Yeah, there definitely was.
Like she
Yep.
went to the other hospital. What's the other
Yep.
hospital?
Yep. Mercy.
Mercy. Yep, thanks. That
Sure. I think it's called Fergburn Memorial.
Anyway, she went to Mercy and there was weirdness, like why was she at Mercy?
Yeah.
I think she's having that baby. I think there's going to be
Yeah.
some weird psycho thing and she'll come back and we'll find out that she
Hmm.
had that baby,
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
and then
That's
there'll be two
interesting.
babies and people will be like, "Oh my god, now there's too many babies." And
What would be the context in which someone would say that? Not that it's wrong, but I'm just
but
wondering.
I don't know. I just think that that'll be messy. But
Yeah.
then, then Molly and Blaze can raise that baby,
Oh, sure, sure. Everybody gets
and
a baby except for the
and
surrogate. Ultimate.
the original baby will go
Hmm.
to Molly, but she'll be divorced then because
Ah, so just be Molly and
she'll have realized that TJ
yeah,
is a dingleberry. I'm not gonna
yeah.
say the word you like
Okay,
to use,
yeah. I
TJ.
know Dingleberry's better.
Yeah.
What's the genetic makeup of the surrogate's baby? Is it?
I'm sorry you asked that because I was just thinking in my head. I can't remember
Yeah.
at that
Was it
point. Did we?
TJ plus her, the surrogate's egg?
Did was Molly ever able to harvest any eggs? Did that happen?
No, I don't believe so. No.
Okay, so probably it was the surrogates, yeah, and that would make more motivation for her to keep it, you
Uh-huh.
know,
Yeah, yeah,
if it was her
definitely.
own baby.
Yeah. Uh-huh. Hmm.
So, anyway, I mean,
Yeah.
it may have just been poor writing that made it weird, but I was thinking they could,
Yeah.
'cause that
Yeah.
happens sometimes,
That
but,
does once in a while, yeah. Yeah. Where it
um,
seems mysterious, it's just poor writing.
yeah, kind of like, um, everybody's mentioned how Tracy was left out of the montage that Gregory saw before he
Yeah.
passed away.
Yeah, that was just sloppy. That was bad, I
And
think.
yeah, I think that was just sloppy. But in my head, I'm thinking like, are we going to have some weird storyline where, you know, I don't know how we find out, but that Gregory really didn't like Tracy, and that's why he didn't. I don't know, but but I think it was just like
Yeah.
Tracy wasn't working that week, so they didn't.
Right. Right. Yeah.
They
They.
waited to have her there to have her be involved in the story.
I don't know. Yeah. Sloppy.
Oh,
Oh, Vinny.
but
Huh.
obviously they have all kinds of footage they could have used.
Right.
So
Right.
I don't know. It
Yeah.
was weird. It was just
Yeah.
weird.
Geez, sorry guys.
Is that Vene?
It's Vinny. There must be some sort of
Vene.
an animal outside. We've had a little fox
Intruder.
hanging around the house lately. Cute,
Cool.
fluffy fox.
That's
Yeah.
cool. That's better than the
Um.
bears, but
Yeah. I haven't seen a bear in a long time. Miss them.
good.
Miss the bears. Um, I was gonna say also speaking of writing, remember back like before the whole like writer turnover and everything, maybe I don't even know how far back we'd have to go, but remember we had stretches where it seems like you'd see like a handful of characters for a while and completely lose track of other
Yes.
characters. And then when we
Yes.
had I guess when we had the scab writers, is when they started to have like a bunch of different characters
Yeah,
appearing
we felt
more
like they
frequently.
wove everybody's storylines together a little better so we could see them all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
right.
now it feels like we're kind of back to seeing a handful of them and completely losing touch of
Uh,
other ones, like you almost to the point where you forget they were characters on the show.
maybe people are rotating through their summer vacays.
Oh, that's right. That's always your explanation, isn't it?
I just like saying vacay. Yeah.
Okay. Glad I gave you the
Well,
opportunity to say vacay.
thank you.
Yeah, but
Anyway,
like Nina, like where's Nina? We had just been,
right, yeah, the bunch of Nina stuff and then she's gone. Yeah.
and Laura and
Yeah.
Trina and little Ace and Heather. I mean, there's just a lot
Yep.
of stuff.
There's a
So,
lot.
but on the other hand, I mean, I do like when they really focus on a story, but
Yeah. We're
I don't
just
know.
never going to be happy. I guess that's a takeaway from that.
Yeah, that's right, Gia. That's right.
You know, we're going to
Yeah.
complain about something for like an hour.
Yeah, we just don't have much to enjoy in life.
Right. We're just hanging around being triggered by stuff.
That's
Mad, getting
right.
angry at old men.
Yes, everything sets us off.
That sets me off like you would believe.
Put a hat on, you old bastard. Oh dear, don't
You're
say
making
that.
more trouble for me. With all your independence. Anyway.
Oh dear.
Anyway, it was a pretty good couple days, I'm gonna say.
Sure. Yeah, I
It's been
think
rough.
so.
It's all been rough, I tell you.
Yeah.
Mm-mm-mm. Who
Oh
would have
dear.
thunk, though, when Gregory first came on, that we would have mourned him so and be.
And I'm still a little bit in denial. I still feel like so there's not a chance.
There's not a chance in hell that we could. And you know what? I have to say that he did his swan song is being
Yeah,
wheeled out as a dead body. He looked like a dead body.
he did, didn't he?
He really
Yeah,
did. He nailed it, Gregory.
nailed it.
Nailed it.
Kudos, sir.
So good. You really look dead. And that's got to be hard. That's like
Yeah,
playing,
I would be
playing
laughing.
I'd be like, that tickles. Yeah. And
Oh,
I know we need to wrap it up, but my last shout out is to Violet because I actually think she's doing a very good job and being very touching
all
and
right, all right.
not annoying. I'm not annoyed by her past couple
Okay,
days.
all right. Well, that's good.
Okay.
I guess.
Anyway.
Yeah. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for listening, everybody out there. And
Yes, thank you so much, and thank you to our Facebook friends. That's very
yeah. Thanks for
nice.
interacting. It's very fun. It's very fun.
Yep. And when we need to work on our death playlists, that's been harder than I thought it would be to
Oh,
come up with.
right. Yeah, maybe we could make a post about that. Maybe
Yeah,
that would
we'll have to put ours up there so other people will feel brave enough to.
You know what I was thinking is I think Monday, since Monday's a holiday, we won't have a hospital.
Oh,
Maybe
that's
we
probably
could
true.
maybe we could have a short a
Mhm.
short
Mhm.
broadcast and do our deathbed playlist.
Oh, that's a good idea, Gia. Okay. Okay, that'll give us a deadline, so we'll have to work on it.
Right, right, yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay. All right. Well, you
Sounds
have a
good.
lovely evening, and everybody out there as well. And we'll
Yeah, yeah,
talk to you in a few days.
yeah. Okay, Gia. You have a good
Okay.
night.
You too.
Okay.
We'll see ya.
Bye.